All right, hey everyone. Today, I just got back from the range after I finally got a chance to test out my newest purchase, which is going to be the main focus of this video, or for the most part, the Atlas Bipod. I just got it, picked it up recently. Finally got a chance to go out to the range, test it out for the first time, and really give my my thoughts on it and why, in all reality, just spend the money and buy this versus some other lower priced bipods, and obviously never buy the cheap fake knockoffs. Okay, so first, just kind of, I'm gonna focus up on here so y'all can read this if you want to pause it. This is the one I got, the B10 model, and just some of the things that it can do. I'll show them myself as well, but I just wanted, if you're looking at what comes with this when you get it, it comes in like a Ziploc bag with this card in there, and obviously the bipod. And I have this on for a reason, and I'll show you in a second. Just bear with me real quick. So there's just some things on how it works, how to be cautious on how to treat it. All right, so if you want to pause the video, give that a look, and read it, give yourself a read. Okay, so first let's talk about the one I got. So I got just the one with the 1913 clamp, just to go on the rails, because I really didn't want to spend the extra $100. Like, I think it's like $330 for the one with the American Defense quick release lever. So I just got this. I mean, $100 was not worth that, so I just got the regular ones and use a flathead to mount it. Cheap. I got this on Optics Planet. They usually send out every now and then, I think I said it before in some of my videos, is that they send out coupon codes for like 10% off or some amount of percent off every now and then. And this one costs about $219 on a regular basis on the website, but obviously you add 10% discount code, and it came out to I think $197. It was like about $197, so that's a nice little bit off. $20 off is $20 off, so that's good in my book. And since I don't live in Illinois, I think where they're at, there's no tax, so $197 flat out, free shipping. So to me, that was worth it. Obviously, I just said $197, so for a lot of people, for a bipod, that might be like, what the hell, that's a lot of money. But in reality, when you get this and what you get for it, it's definitely worth the premium cost. Because I know you can get like a Harris, a very nice Harris for like $60-$80, depending on which model you get. And obviously you can go cheaper, like Caldwell. And I know that on Amazon they sell fake knockoffs, Chinese ripoffs of these, which I know that there's some videos on YouTube that go into great detail on why you should not get them and why it's not worth any cost. This is definitely worth the cost. One of the things that it does different than some of the other bipods out there, or at least the Harris ones or some of the Cladwell ones, and I know that some of them can't and move around a little bit, but this one can move a lot. So first, let's take a look at the can like side to side. And right now I have it at its lowest tension setting, and the tension screw is right here. And you turn it all the way to the left till you just about can't go no more. And even then, at its loosest setting, it's still nice and firm. It's not moving around on itself. You can move it around with your body relatively easy, but it's not going to move like flop around, is kind of, if you kind of get what I'm saying. So I'm going to move, and I have my little brass bag in here to weigh it down, because if I don't, then it's just going to move around the desk. So that's why I have it there. So here, let me show you, see if you can get it. So give it a look. Let me focus the camera. Okay, so give it a look, and you can see it's moving side, and I'm kind of like putting some force on it with my hand as I'm moving it on my stock. So this isn't going to be moving on you easily. So when you're sighting in, you're going to be pretty solid. And then of course you can put tension on, even more tension on this. So if you just want it to be even tighter, you can do that. And it's very handy. Now, obviously I just did the cant, or just the 15 degrees. I forget which one it is, cant or pant or pan, but whatever the definitions are, you can move it like that, and you can move it, see, right there, you see it, and you can move it So you got some good movement, some travel right there, which is awesome. I've only used other bipods that I've used are like the Harris. I've tried those out from friends, and also I had a grip. Still have my grip pod, and that's a nice little bipod on its own. But it's not really that. You can't really do much with it. It's pretty static. It's pretty. You can't really move at all without moving your entire rifle and moving the feet. I mean, but this you get a lot of movement, and that is cool. All right, until you get one of these and do it yourself, you're not really gonna appreciate it. This really comes in real handy. Okay, another cool part about this, which I'm sure if you're looking at this video, you kind of already know a bit about the Atlas bipod. So obviously the way the legs work, you can't like quick deploy them like a Harris would, like you just flip them down. You have to push this button in, and then you can move it in 5 different positions. I do it right now, but it's kind of hard because I'm holding one hand with the camera, and I'll try it. Let me see if I can try it. I'm going to move the casings real quick. All right, so focus. All right, so just like that. And then it just locks in when it meets a spot, and it's not going anywhere. So depending on where you need to put it, what position, you can adjust it for any type of scenario, which is really cool. All right, so that's pretty cool. That's pretty advantageous depending on what you're doing with it and the terrain you're shooting from. Of course, then how to adjust it. You push down on these do not like quick release like they do on some of the other ones where you just push it and it just goes to pop. It doesn't do that. You have to push it down and move it yourself and to a spot, and as you can see, those bearings and just how it works. And once it reaches a slot, it just pops in. Okay, and and these, when the area where you grab it from, it's very. Let me try to focus. If you can see that, look at how just deep that is. Like you can feel it. I'm almost positive that if you were in a muddy area, like if this was covered in mud, greasy, whatever the case, that you would be able to easily adjust it, because there's no way you're not. It's hard. It's like sandpaper. It's very coarse. It's very nice. Coming on down, obviously you still have kind of that same texture down here. And of course, if you've seen other videos, you can get extensions for the legs by swapping them out real easily. I forget where it is the exact part. I think it's, sorry about that. I think it's like right here. You have to push down and they can pop off. And of course, these rubber feet, they're very good. They're very good. They grip very well to any bench. I've tried them on the ground. They're very good. You're not going anywhere with these. Okay, you can, and obviously, like I said, with the legs, you can move back and forth. You can put your weight on it, and it's not going anywhere, either back or forth. Okay, this isn't moving. So as long as you have it planted on the ground, you can put your weight on it, and without worrying about it flexing up, kind of like the legs popping up, popping back, or moving in any way. So it is solid. It is extremely solid. I'm trying to think of anything else that I might be missing, because it's pretty basic. I mean, the design is amazing and it's very well built, but at the same time, it's like really basic, because you think about it, like you just push that in, moves back and forth, cool. Push that down, extend the legs, twist the knob for tension, and you can move it around all you want. And it's just so tough. Like it's very sturdy. It's well made. For some people, it may not be. They may just want to go the cheap route for a bipod, which, money is tight for various people, various situations, various budgets, and I completely understand that. In my opinion, and I've said this in a lot of things like, say, optics or various parts, budget is really not the way you want to go with your weapon. If you're building it, or if depending on what you want to do with it, like me, I'm building this SPR. Currently, I have the upper done so far. The lower won't be built probably till the end of the year, and that's also at the end of the year. I do plan on getting a precision bolt-action rifle, just because I just really like precision shooting now. I'll go on to that in a minute, but like I'm saying is, if you are building, depending on what you're doing, if you're going for precision, if you're going for something that's going to last you a good while, I would just invest it. Invest it in this. Invest it in one of these bipods if precision is your way to go, because this thing is worth the money. And like I said, if you like $20 off, like wait for Optics Planet to send out another, sign up for their newsletter, and they send out those 10% off discounts every now and then. And I know there's various popular YouTube channels that get discount codes from them every now and then too for 10%. Every now and then they'll even send out 15%, but who knows? That's very rare, but 10% is pretty good. Also, something else cool about Optics Planet, I know I'm bringing them up a lot, but here's one of for the most part, buy a lot more from them than I ever used to, because they take Amazon as payment. And I have an Amazon store card, and that store card gives you 5% off when it comes time to pay your bill. So you get the 10% off originally from Optics Planet, and then you get another 5% off of that from Amazon. So that's pretty cool. So you can get some savings. You're not going to see it in the original bill. You're going to see it when it's time to pay your summary, your actual bill to Amazon. So you're not going to see it until the end of the month. But that is a good way to save money, because I'm planning on buying at the end of the year, I'm going to buy the Leupold Mark 6. And that one's not going to be cheap. But obviously I'm going to wait till they have a Black Friday sale. Like I said, not till the end of the year. So a Black Friday sale, and as well as discount codes and Amazon store card to save as much as I can, because that's like a $2,200, $2,500 scope. Okay. And so I'm going to try and save as much money as I can on the best parts that I can get. Okay. Get the best parts you can, but try to get them as low cost as you can. Okay. All right. Since I'm here, okay. So I'll just make this into kind of one long video. So if you were just watching this for the bipod, then you can kind of tune out now. I'm just gonna show you why I really wanted this bipod, though. I guess it's still kind of part of the video. But the bipod, how much of a difference it made. So I finished this SPR upper about a month ago, maybe a couple weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago. Shot it the first time at the range, and I was just using my range ready bag, my 511 bag, as kind of like a rest, and it wasn't giving me the results that I wanted. It was just too low to the ground. It was too low to the bench, not rigid enough. So that's when I just decided, okay, I need to pull the trigger on this after I got, like, in the newsletter from Optics Planet, hey, 10% discount code. I was shooting, I could barely get, I got like one MOA group one time at the range when I took it using my range bag, but I know that this upper can do better. This setup can do better, and I needed something just to make the shooting a lot easier. So just make the process and make it more precise, and that's why I got it. And so I'm going to show you some of the paper that I got from the range from my range results today. So, but basically it was the Atlas bipod in the front, and I was using my brass bag kind of as a little pillow or whatever for rest for the end of my pad on my CTR stock. So I just had it back there, and it really did make a difference. Just try and take as much movement, just make it as steady as possible. So first, just kind of nothing impressive on this part here, because this was just me, because I went from 50 to 75 to 100, just, shooting during the day. And obviously this was my first grouping, because I forgot to adjust bring it back to its 100 0, because that's what my Leupold Mark AR is set to, and this is a 3x9 scope. So I did a video on it already. If you haven't seen it, give it a look. So first we're right there, and then the rest we're bringing it right here. This right here is about 1.25 inch MOA. This was me just trying to, again, like first two shots, see where I was at, then did some adjustments, and then adjustments back to here. So this is a 1.25 group. I was kind of shooting kind of fast, and this really wasn't the best target for what I wanted. And then something kind of shitty, because I wasn't not really sure, like I was shooting my targets in a bit of my targets were kind of Like, oh, don't pay attention to this either. This was the original, like, first shots on that big circle. So yeah, it was way off. Those were my mistakes. So you can just discount those. Don't count as for the accuracy. But because I was wondering what the hell happened with those. But yeah, that was me not putting it back in its 100-yard zero. But I was looking at this, and my shots were kind of like getting sporadic. Like, what the hell? Because this group here was half inch, and I was like, okay, that's normal. And then this started happening, and along with over here. And I was like, what the crap? And then I was like, could it be my mount? This is a good mount. This aero mount, SPR mount is good, but it's really my fault because I did not Loctite the mounting screws. I know some people don't, and I just torqued them down to a point where I thought it was okay, but I should have Loctited them and then probably tightened them just down maybe not as hard as I don't know, because I've heard people say that if they tighten it out too hard, the way that these clamps work, it could break. Because I know that a video from a dude called like the Honest Outlaw, he broke his. So I don't know, maybe they fixed that because his video was kind of old. But yeah, I tightened these down a lot more. I did full rotations on the screws. So I'm gonna re-level this here in a bit. I did fix it. I did get my accuracy. I'll show you in a minute, but. I'm definitely going to re-level this and Loctite those screws here in a bit though. But as you can see, the rings kind of were a little bit loose, which probably resulted in this. It didn't happen at first when I was on the 50 and partially the 75-yard line, but then it became this, and I was very unhappy with that. But then I tightened it down, and then I started really bringing in the groups in. So like it was really over here, and then I tightened them down. Got a little bit of adjustments and then brought it to some of the groups right here. Like that was a really good one right there, a half-inch group. And then this one here, 1 1/4. Let me try it. Where did I put my tape measure just in case anybody wants to see it? I'm going to pause the video for a second. But yeah, this is about an inch, and let me try and get it on the paper. From like center to center of the holes, yeah, this was about like a 1 1/4 inch group. 1 1/4 MOA. And then the best ones, I was really happy for my last two at the range. I shot 2 groups into the same target. So here was the first group. Here was one of the groups. This one came in at half MOA. Look at that. Sorry. I'm really trying to work 2 things at once. But that's a half MOA group at 100 yards. And I was using simply just 55 grain full metal jacket, Freedom Munitions reman. I'm definitely going to get some higher quality ammo later on in the year, but this is extremely impressive from this rifle. This one came out to about, I think, trying to get center to center. Sorry. It's under one MOA. If you go from kind of like the edges, it's like 3/4, but in between 3/4 and 1 inch. If you go from that one, sorry for the camera guys, sorry, and then just 3/4 right there, depending on which one you go. But those right there were the best groups that I got at 100 yards. So this is a sub-MOA rifle upper, just with cheap ammo, just with 55 grain. If anybody's wondering, this is Ballistic Advantage's 18-inch heavy profile SPR barrel. So very accurate. If Ballistic Advantage has a really, all I heard was good things, and I saw this barrel go on sale, and I bought it, and obviously it's no joke. These are the legit groups. Like I shot first 3 shots there, and then I was like, no way. And then I shot another 3, and I was like, boom. And that is amazing accuracy, obviously in part with the bipod, with just that little, using that as a little pillow at the back. Trigger I use is, let me try to focus, you probably can't see it. The Geissele SD3G trigger. I want to get the DMR trigger, but I'll get that later on when I finish the lower. But even using this is amazing. Okay, so all of those things put together, along with the 3x9 scope at max power at 9, this is a sub-MOA gun, and I couldn't be happier. So obviously nothing on this rifle in reality, maybe except for the aero parts. But then again, those I bought these on sale, and Aero gave me also my veterans discount on top of that too. So they were on sale, veterans discount. So huge savings for amazing quality parts. And like these are all very like this build was very can get if it wasn't for all the savings, like I bought everything on here on sale at one time or another, not at the same time, but at different points in time, and it saved me hundreds of dollars. Okay, but I used quality top shelf parts in my opinion. And obviously when you use the best parts, trigger, scope, well, maybe not the scope. I mean, it's a bit of a more budget of the Leupold scopes, but it's still, the brand name speaks for itself. And just everything put together, and you get this. You get sub-MOA groups. Okay, so don't cheap out on in quality. Don't cheap out in quality, but get the best cells that you can. And that's really the best I can say. That's really all I can say when you're building a rifle. I can't wait to finish this towards the end of the year, so you can see my like a full SPR done. But as for right now, I am extremely satisfied with what I have so far. Yeah, it was worth the wait, and it was worth the investment, because that there speaks for itself. Couldn't be happier, and I can't wait to see what I can do. Well, probably that right there is already what I want, but who knows what I can get with even better ammo. Maybe just consistently half-inch groups all around, which is amazing. All right, if anybody has any, sorry this video ran long in comparison to my other videos, but if you have any questions on the Atlas, on the geissele trigger, Mark IV rail, Ballistic Advantage, and of course aero and Leupold. So if you have any questions on any of this, please leave them in the comments. I'll be sure to answer them. Don't buy cheap quality. Just try to buy a cheap price. All right, that's it. Have a good one.